Your shirt, everything is popping.
Target.
Listen, everything is working. I love the background too. Like, you're killing it.
Thank you so much, Joy. What a way to start this conversation off. I'm so excited to be talking to you about the show. 2020, what a year, right?
I mean,
no words. But for Life premiered in February of this year, right before the pandemic, and concluded in May. And it follows the true story of Isaac Wright Jr., a man who was wrongfully convicted of a crime he did not commit. And I want to ask you, Joy, being that we were forced into lockdown, right? And given all of the news and the influx of stories that we've seen, the injustices that we've seen on TV, in the streets with the protests, do you think that coupled with the pandemic and being in lockdown forced people to pay attention to your show even more so about, righting wrongs and the injustices of the criminal justice system?
I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, I think, yes, because we were airing as the world was shifting on its axis in many ways. When it came to racial injustices, social upheavals, like health, global pandemic, all these things were occurring while we were just airing.
Right.
We always felt that the show was very timely when we were shooting it, when it aired. I mean, no one knew the world was going to be what it is now. But we always felt that it was a timely show, and that if, because of the conversations being had on both sides of the aisle, all kinds of people about criminal justice reform and the state of the criminal justice system. And now I think that, our sort of, so if it was like 5 years ago, our show probably would have been a harder road to even get on air, right?
Right.
So we get on air, and then the world spins, all these things happen. It's like, oh yeah, okay, our show definitely has a place in this conversation, these conversations that are being had. So I would hope, especially with the second season, our show is set in contemporary times, right? So we will be addressing a lot of the things that we all went through these past 8 months.
Right.
It's crazy that, like, I keep talking about last season. Last year. I'm like, no. Actually, we were still filming in January, premiered in February.
Right.
And the world just went
bananas.
So yeah, I we will be kind of diving into all of those aspects on the show.
I can't wait. I love this show. At the end of season 1, we see Aaron grappling with some tough decisions. What can viewers expect in season 2? What can we see happening with Aaron? And I'm going to get to Marie, but what can we see happening with his character and how you're supporting him? What can we see happen?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that he gets out.
Yeah.
Then a lot happens. And so, him getting out and reclaiming the life that was taken from him. But how does he now fit into it? How does he adapt to it? How does he adjust to it? As a man, as a father, having missed his daughter's childhood, and now she's a mother, and now he's a grandfather.
Right.
How does he reconnect with his wife, who on one side has never left his side, but on the other side was with his best friend up until like a couple of months ago.
Right. Right. And then Marie, so you spoken out about how you didn't have to go to look far to like study and do the research on your character, not Marie, your character, right? Talk to us a little bit about what was it like going to your friends, talking to them about what they had went through with their significant others, being that they were in Marie's shoes? What was it like going to them, and were they transparent and forthcoming with the struggles that they had faced?
Well, the thing is that like I because it was two of my best girlfriends. I also, in speaking with them, but also remembering, I mean, we've been friends for a really long time.
Right.
In both situations, I was there before the dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I remember a lot of what it felt like for them, and the sacrifices they had to make. To stay connected to their partner, the man that they loved, who was incarcerated, like the toll it took on them in many ways. Also, what happened when they got out,
right? And
the transition and the readjustment and all those things. So, like, I've been there with them every step of the way as their friend.
Wow.
And I mean, I hate it's like. It doesn't make me feel good that like, oh wow, I was so lucky to have that information, because I wish they had not had to go through that. And I also wish that their partners were not incarcerated for that all to be a reality. But I was able to lean on that.
Right.
And that's what I feel informed a lot of my understanding of women like Marie.
Why should people tune in on November 18th to watch the season 2 premiere on ABC? Why should they tune in?
To see what happens when someone continues to believe in themselves, when the world is telling them there is no other, like, it's not going to happen, when the world doesn't believe in you. To see what happens when a person never loses hope, when everything around them just seems so hopeless. I think those are two things that we can all really understand, regardless of, obviously in terms of our show takes place within the context of the criminal justice system and all those things. But just as human beings, we all need to be reminded of the importance of remaining hopeful and to always believe in yourself, because without that, nothing is possible. So for me, those are two of the big themes that I take away from the show, but also especially from Isaac's life. I mean, like, what?
Right.
I mean, he couldn't have done any of that if he did not believe he could and have hope that it could be done. Yeah. Because the world's like, are you out of your mind? You gonna represent yourself and knock down a life sentence plus 70? You gonna do that? Okay. All right.
Okay. Good luck with that. But we see what happened.
Right.
Well, Joy, thank you so much for talking to us today. I cannot wait to watch you back on our screens. Love seeing you on Netflix too. I loved you in that too as well. So thank you so much, Joy. You look beautiful. So good to see you. All the blessings to you.
You too, sis. Thank you.
Okay.